Alright, Jody, let's give this a shot. We're going to take a look at your styles editor. The first thing we need to do is make sure we're read-write in our project. So I'll go ahead to the project. I'm going to use this excavator project that I have. I'll go down here. I see it is read-write. It might be read-only. If it is, go ahead, switch it to read-write. And then if you've made any changes, hit save right there. And you go to done. Okay, so now you're ready to bring a template in. So I'm going to start a new drawing with an existing template, and then I'm going to customize it. So I'm going to go into here and I'm going to go to my templates. I want from my English templates here, and I want this regular template based on ANSI. Okay, here it comes. Now we can make any changes that we need to make. If there's some appearance things, maybe if you go to the Tools tab right here, you can go into your document settings, and then you have your annotations thing here, but we're going to customize those, so don't worry about that. How you want any snapping to be able to done, if you're going to use any grids, any type of drawing things that you might want to change, you probably won't need to do much on that. And then if you want a different color sheet, just for the heck of it, I'm going to go ahead and make this a white sheet. Okay, so I'll apply that and close that off. So now we have this to where we're going to do that. Your application options, you may want to do some changes in your drawing here. If there are any things you want to change here, you can do that while you're setting up your template. Okay, but we're going to do some bigger changes, and we're going to do that in your Manage tab. So if you go to the Manage tab, you're going to see something that says Styles and Standards. Styles and Standards is where we make all the changes that's going to have to do with our dimensions and everything that you're going to see on your drawing sheet. Okay, we're not really dealing with the title block right now, but this is with the drawing sheet. Okay, so I'll go ahead and open up the Styles editor, and you'll see I have the default ANSI standard. All right, now that's what it says. If I go to all styles, you'll see that they have some others here, but I'm going to build this one off of the default ANSI standard. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and say a new style. It's going to take the existing standards from ANSI, but then we're going to customize those a little bit. So I'll go ahead and I'll change this into a Sean standard. All right, and I'm leaving it based on ANSI. All right, so now I'm going to go ahead, make that one the active one, and I'll just go ahead and shift this back to local styles, so all I see is the one that I'm working on. Now, everything that you want to change, we're not going to go through every single part of this because it all works the same. So, for instance, if you wanted to change something the way the balloons reacted, then you would go ahead and then you would make a new balloon style. And then I'd give it a unique name. Sean Balloon, based on ANSI standards, okay? So if I make that one my active one, then I can edit anything that needs to be edited, like make a simple change, maybe it needs to be red. Okay? Anytime you make a change, make sure you hit save. Okay? So you would go into all of these, let's say on your dimensions. You have your basic types of dimensions. Let's say I want an architectural type dimension, but I'm going to go ahead and make a unique one here. I'll go ahead and call a new style, and I'll just say Sean architectural style based on ANSI. And then once I do that, then I can go in here, change my precision, how I want things to display, also what type of text you want to use. So whenever just about everybody is going to create a text, you can go through all of these features just like we did so far. But like if you have a unique text that you want to use, you may need a text that you're going to use for your labels, for your notes, or anything else. You can add those in, and then you can make those adjustments as you do it. Okay, so you'll do that for as many things as you need to customize. All right, now one of the important things to do is to set an object default. So go ahead and create a new style from the object defaults, and I'll just keep this same name going. And in this object of default, this is where we're going to go in and we're going to choose, we're going to choose exactly what we want for each one of these. So like the first thing I'm seeing here is, how do I want to handle angle dimensions? Well, I can go in and say, use the rules that we established for Sean. Okay? Now, if all I'm going to be changing here in the object defaults is dimension stuff, rather than search through all of this, I can filter this out and then go into just dimension objects. Okay? Let me go ahead and save that little change right there. Now we'll go into dimension objects. And so I can go through here and I can say, let's make all of these based on the Sean architectural model. And what you're going to do is you're going to go into there and you're going to set that, and that'll be your object default. So you only have to select one thing whenever you want to make a change. Okay, so since I made some changes there, I'll go ahead and I'm going to leave that one general. I hit the save, and I'll go ahead and make that my active one. Okay, so to make sure that your one that is active, if you go back to your standard right here, this is where you're going to activate your default style. So you see you had the ANSI object defaults, but then we also established the ones that we had specific for us. Now another thing you may want to fool around with a bit to do some customization is in your layers. Now this works a lot like the layers in AutoCAD, but it's for picking specific features. Let's say if you're going to have a borderline. Here's your borderline. Well, I don't want it to be that color. I want it to be that color. So now you have a red borderline. If you want to change the line weight, well, you can change the line weight too. Let's say we're going to make that a little bit thicker there. So let's go ahead and thicken up the borderline weight. There we go. So I'm going to make that change and say save. All right. So if you have different titles, whatever you want to do, you can make the changes here and then save them in your layers. Just remember, all that's a part of this standard. So whenever you switch to this standard, that's the way it's going to appear. Okay, so you'll have to play with that a little bit, and then you'll become familiar with it, and you're going to see what amazing control it does give you over everything. So once you've done all that, then you're going to go ahead and say done. Now you see that I've done this. Look, the first thing that snaps out is that red borderline that I thickened up. So you can see those changes went ahead already. So what you want to do is go ahead and save that style, and you want to make sure that you say yes to save them all in the library. And there it is. Now if you had a drawing that had some other standards on here and you wanted to update them, then you could use that update button and it would update them with your current style. So I hope that gives you a little bit of handle on how to customize things for your company. Maybe that'll make it a little easier for you as you kind of bring the company up to the new standards that you want to set for them. And as always, if you have any questions, please give me a shout.